So we continue our coverage of the stronghold of the two main parties with a focus today on the Anlo constituency. It is a stronghold of the opposition NDC, a seat it has held since 1992, winning by landslide each year. So knowing the race to parliament starts and presumably ends with the primaries, what sort of candidates is the NDC presenting to the constituents as their MP? And this question and development needs of the constituency are what the constituents spoke to when Stronghold interacted with them. We'll hear from them shortly. First, though, a quick view of the constituency. The Anlo constituency is also located in the Volta region in the Keita district, and the capital is Keita. And it's been an NDC seat since 1992, except 2000, where James Victor Gbeho, known as who is a senior member of the NDC, stood as an independent candidate. And let me take you quickly to some of the throughout the year from 1992, how the NDC has performed in that area. And if you look at this election, the first one in 1992, you would realize that the NDC won with a landslide victory, and there were a lot of dynamics that played in that election. Well, fast forward to 1992, Clement Sow is the one who won, contested that election and won. And in that election, you have the NDC, you had an independent candidate who stood in 2000, and in 2004, Clement Humado. In the 2016 election, you have Clement Kofi Humado standing for the NDC, and the NDC polled 22,216, making 64.01% of the votes in that constituency. And then you have representation from the PPP by who was represented by Francis Tamaklo. He polled 6,823. There was an independent candidate, Kumajro Sena, who polled 2,980. An independent candidate also, Edward Kwajo, who also polled 2,000. The CPP polled 235. And so you look at the majority of the votes went to NDC, and that's why it's an NDC stronghold. So the incumbent MP for the area is an NDC member of parliament. Let's get to the 2012 elections. And of course, you also see that Clement Kofi Humado was the one who represented in that election, and he polled 32,654 votes from the total votes that the 39,829 people who voted. He polled 32,654. The NPP's Makafui Kofi Uwanya polled 3,599. That's a huge gap between the NDC and the NPP. The reason is still an NDC stronghold. The independent candidate, who is Gabriel Tamaklo, polled 1,940, and then the PPP's Francis Tamaklo polled 1,543, and then you come back to 2008. But I like to go to 2000, where that's very interesting. In 2000, you realize that there was a candidate, which is Clement Sow, who represented the NPP. But you also realize that there was an independent candidate who is Victor Gbeho. Victor Gbeho is the one who contested Sow in that contest. He is an NDC member, but because he was aggrieved, he also stood as an independent candidate, even though there was an NDC member of parliament. And look at how he polled. He polled 19,083, and Clement Sow polled 4,000 out of that. It doesn't still erase the fact that Gbeho is an NDC member. I mean, everybody knows that he's an NDC member, and that could have played for him to win that seat. So we'll be speaking with all the candidates who are also joining the primaries this time around, seeking to be MP for this area. But what are the constituents saying? We can hear from them now.
For me, I want someone who is humble, someone who is creative, someone who can invite investors from outside to bring jobs to the youth around.
As a matter of fact, most youth are saying that come election, they are not going to vote. What I would have preferred for a parliamentary candidate is to see how creative he is, his ability to think out of the box, not following the usual trend, because we've waited upon them, we saw their promises, but show me what you can do by what you have done, by your track record. Let's see your history. Let's believe in your ability.
So I want to appeal to whoever is coming to be our parliamentary candidate to take all this into consideration: the roads, electricity, and a lot. The electricity, the roads, that is leading to a lot of places like Anlo route is not good. The one leading to the route is not good. So most, especially the routes, are not good. When you come to the old station now, where lorries load always, and apart from the market days, when you look at it, you will realize that we are having a problem. So we need a better parliamentary candidate that will cater for all this.
Aspirant of a genuine caliber, somebody who is very articulate in doing everything in the parliament as our representative. Always we get them to be too much promising, but after the promising, when we elect them to go there, they do less than what is expected. And therefore at this time, we don't want promises, but we want somebody who is genuine, who can articulate, who is accountable in everything, in truth and in everything, so that at the end we see the good result for our community.
Tell you who they are, and in the studio, one of them is joining me in the studio. Joseph Agbeko is the one joining me in the studio, and there are more of them. There are 6 of them. Let's see who they are. We have Wanda Victor Kuto, who is one of the contestants. Collins Aholu is one of the contestants. Richard Kwame Sefe and Bright E.K. Demeji, Sedina Tamaklo Ationu are all the 6 people who are contesting for their primaries to, and you know the incumbent Clement Kofi Humado is no longer going this time round. So this says one of them will take over from Clement. So let's see who you are, Joseph.
They put the H, they have to remove the H.
They have to, we'll correct that. Okay. So tell us more about Joseph and why the people of Anlo should have that trust in you and give you the mandate.
Thank you. Good afternoon to everyone, those who are watching me this afternoon. Joseph is a young man from Way. That is my village, from Way and Tegbi.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you have that you're bringing on board for the people of this constituency?
Thank you. My message is just simple. That is transforming Anlo to community development. Okay. Yeah.
Transforming Anlo through
community development.
Community development. Yeah. But you yourself, what track record do you have that should make people believe that Joseph is bringing exactly what he's talking about to that constituency?
Thank you. First of all, if you look at 2011, I've started my small community development. So far, I've done fixing of the street lights for most of the community, and then some small bridges at the community as well. And then to support the youth, mostly those who are going to learn the trade, and then those who are going to police service and the migration service, always helping them to achieve whatever they want to achieve. Yeah.
Have you had any interaction with the youth? I mean, to get to know exactly what the problems and the challenges are in that community, so that you can actually bring that transformation you talk about?
Yes. Most of the youth are talking about development in their communities. In fact, recently I visited one of the community called Soji. In fact, I was going there. In fact, I was on the river about 40 minutes to get to their community. Okay. The place is very, very bad in terms of development, their lack of development. If you look at the school, junior high school there, it's very, very bad. So some of these challenges are the area, and then they don't have senior high school. They have to cross the river to get to Kitasko, Busco, those senior high school and that area. In fact, they go through a lot of things. So I'm sure if the opportunity is given to the youth this time around, I think that I can do more than the previous one and then continue some of the things left over.
Well, listening to the constituents, and you heard some of them speak before you came in, key on key of the many challenges they have has been water, electricity, education. Yeah. How do you intend to tackle some of these basic challenges that face the constituents? Thank you. When it comes to water level, in fact, some of the few communities, because of our constituency is some places it's a river. You have to cross the river before getting to the place. So sometimes the previous MP managed to send the water to some of these communities, and then they use some field technology to do that. So I'm sure if I come, I will continue to those areas who are lack of water. Education side is a challenge. That's what I said earlier on. Some of the communities like Shima like this, they don't have any senior high school. In fact, during our time, 2016, Honorable Kujeto was the then Deputy Minister for Education. So I discussed this issue with him. He said, okay, I have to talk to the MP in power to bring a letter. So we have done that. And the chief has, before they have helped us to give us a land, 32 acres of land for the construction of the senior high school. That is our former president, John Mahama, the E-block. But fortunately, you lost power, so it couldn't happen. So it is my hope that if I come, if the delegate give me the no, I'll continue that project so that you have a senior high school in Shima. Don't forget that you can also join the conversation. It's on our WhatsApp number 0266047417. It will be on your screens shortly. 0266047417. Send us your comments, and if you have a question for the aspiring members of parliament, we would put it to them and they would provide answers to that. We're also trying to reach the other candidates who are also vying for the same position. And don't forget, Wanda Victor Couture is one of them. Collins Aholu is one of them. Joseph Agbekokbogo is with me in the studio. Richard Kwame Sefe is one of them. Bright Ike Demeji is one of them. And Sedinata Meklo Ationo is one of them. And there you go on your screen. They've been displayed on your screen. They've been displayed on your screen. You can see all of them right there who are vying for this position. But Joseph, I'd like to also find out from you, you being a constituent yourself and now wanting to lead the people, I'm sure you've been monitoring the progress in that constituency. How would you assess, and of course, not to forget that we've not gotten practical with how you intend to deal with these issues. For instance, for the water issue, you want to continue from where the incumbent member left. Yeah. I'd like you to make an assessment of the incumbent member of parliament and how he's been able to tackle some of these challenges. Are you impressed, and where do you intend to take it from where he left? Thank you. I think the previous MP, which is Honorable Keme Kofi Umando, in terms of water, he has done very well. In fact, he cannot do all in a constituency. That's what I said earlier on. Some of the areas you have to use the pass through water before you get to the community. So I'm sure those areas which they have not have water, I'm sure when I come, I'll continue those areas as well. In fact, our area is agriculture area. Yes, it's agriculture area. In fact, that is one of our challenges over there. And then to access to fertilizer is one of the challenge. And then the what they call it, our lagoon, lagoon agriculture and the sea.
These three things, these are our business over there.
Okay.
So if you come to agriculture, to get access to fertilizer is very, very difficult. So those are the challenges. So I'm sure if the delegate give me the opportunity, I can prove that, yes, I can do the job.
So which are the specific areas you intend to tackle, for instance, in your first 2 years, if given the nod? Because there are a wide range of issues that have been raised there, and I mentioned a number of them to you: housing, water, electricity, roads has featured strongly in the Volta region, not only your all the other constituencies, but which areas do you intend to tackle in your first 2 years, for instance, to I mean, with regards to the challenges facing the constituents?
Yeah, thank you. The first one will be our water. I'm sure if you have electricity in your home, you don't have water, you won't feel comfortable. So water will be the first thing to tackle. And then the second one will be the education. Is very, very key. I have to target the education. Some of the communities are, if I'm looking at their structure in the area, it's very, very bad. So I'll look at that one too. Third one is agriculture. As I said earlier on, agriculture is one of the challenges you have in the area, especially to get access to fertilizer. Yeah.
Well, let me take some of the comments coming in from the constituents, and I must say that our WhatsApp platform has been is buzzing with so many messages. Let me take this one from Innocent, and he says, please, I want to know if they have good health care and what is going to do to improve the lives of the people because of the poor water system there. And I believe you're taking notes. Of course, there's been a problem with water in those areas. And of course, if the water is bad, you are certainly sure that it will affect the health of the people. Innocent wants to find out how you intend to deal with this problem, which will lead to which will affect the health of the people.
Thank you. Looking at the Anlo Constituency, you have that is Angogan Health Clinic. That is the only big hospital there. It's in a bad shape. We are trying to do some renovation ourselves.
Okay.
All the stakeholders, we are trying to renovate the whole place. But I'm sure if the delegate give me the opportunity, I will help the hospital.
How do you intend to help? Because like the gentleman said in the message, he's talking about the water situation there. You need to address that water situation. And if you address that, you are sure that it will also go a long way to help the health of the people. Because if they keep on drinking that kind of water, you know that people will get sick often and they'll go to the hospital. So you need to uproot that problem from resolving the water challenge.
Yes, that area I'm mentioning, the Angogan Clinic, we don't have any water challenge there. Looking at the other cheap compound in the Shima side, you have a good water there. And then that is Anyani, you have a health center there. That one too, you have a good water. The only problem is the infrastructure.
Okay.
And then to have a hospital bed and other things.
Okay.
And then to have what they call it, other medical equipment. That is our challenge. But water problem in the hospital is okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure Innocent is talking about the hospitals having challenges with water. He's talking about the residents themselves not having potable water to drink. And if they drink from those sources, you know that they will get sick all the time, often, and they will go to the hospital. So he is asking how you intend to tackle the water crisis in that area.
In fact, our area, I can say that most of the previous MP have done very well in terms of water, access to the water. Yeah.
But if you listen to the constituents, they're still complaining about water.
Yes, that is some few areas. So those areas, first of all, the first or 2 years in my administration, I'll solve that problem before going to solve other problems in the constituency.
Okay. There's a message also coming from, you didn't add your name. He says, please ask him whether he's going to use his own money in doing the water project. So this is a big conversation that has come up, that MPs are not developmental agents or development agents. So one of the things I will be finding out from you shortly, is how you intend to fund your project. And of course, you also need to know that being a member of parliament, it comes along with so much responsibilities. And these projects we're talking about are huge projects that you cannot do with your pocket money. You may need some people to help you. So we'll get that, but let me take more of the messages. And this one from Bernard Edem Ahiakbo, he says, please tell Mr. Agbeko that the discerning delegates of Anlo constituency will vote massively for him come Saturday 24. And this one is coming from, he also didn't add this, and he says, please ask Mr. Joseph Agbeko, how is he going to finance all the projects? So that's another person seeking to know how you intend to fund your project. And this one from Robert from Atito, he says, good afternoon, please ask Mr. Kugo if he is aware of the poor telecommunication network in Kome communities and what he would do about that. So poor telecommunication network in that constituency he's talking about. And then there's also one that has come on the roads, and it's the Afi Adegbe to Keta Road, and they want to find out what you do about that. I'm not sure if I had the name right, but I'll get it. And this one says, what do you do about the serial killing of innocent people in the municipality? And to be precise, Jita Anyanui killing. What will you do to protect the people there? So these are some of the questions coming up, but I've just been joined by one other aspirant in that constituency, and he's Professor Collins Aholu. Good afternoon to you, Prof.
Good afternoon, madam.
Prof,
good afternoon to your listeners.
This an election that will be keenly contested. 6 of you are all vying for just one seat in the Anlo constituency. Tell us why your constituents should give you that mandate.
Well, thank you very much for the question. It's a privilege to speak to the constituents through your network. Like you said, I'm Collins Aholu. I'm vying for this position because I think the time has come. What I do, knowing that basic functions of to make law is to be in parliament and make laws, that we have good laws to. And I think that I have what it do for funding from external the constituency to develop. That's why I'm in this topic, to serve the people and to help the people by using what I'm used to at my work at Noguchi Memorial Institute involves writing proposals and getting projects to execute. That's what I've done over the years, and I think I can reduce it to livelihood, development, and bring progress to the community. That's why I'm in this context.
Apart from the many challenges that your constituents have, and indeed we've listened to a few of them enumerate some of the problems facing them in that constituency, apart from the housing, electricity, unemployment, and educational problems they're having, there are also very specific issues coming up. And one of it has been the telecommunication network in that area. How do you intend to resolve this challenge? Indeed, it's one of your constituents who wants an answer to this question.
Which of the challenges? Because you just talk about many of them. Which one is specific are you referring to?
Telecommunication network. The telecommunication network.
Yes, telecommunication network in the constituency is a problem, yes, in many places. However, we all know that these are private businesses, mostly private businesses. So what we can do is to lobby, talk to them, and have a plan with them to boost the receptions in the poor areas. So I cannot promise that when I am elected, I will bring telecommunication or I will improve the system all by myself. If the business partners, which are the telecom companies, if they have to be willing to do it. And so all we can do is to lobby, talk to them, and let them know that there's money to make from those communities, and I'm sure they will know. Maybe for now they don't know the numbers, the populations in those communities. That's why they are not keen in extending the services to those communities. So if you make those statistics available to them, I'm sure they will be willing to heed our improve the service.
But even as you aspire to lead the people of Anlo, have you ever had the opportunity to learn about this problem? And what have you been doing, or even from now that you're knowing, what will you be doing before the people even vote you into power?
Yeah, like I said, it's just you see, like this is a business that no single MP can say categorically that I will be solving. I mean, we should be in politics of truth. And I'm saying that this involves law, the telecom company.
Okay,
now,
our telephone line.
Investment. Because it involves investment. It's a capital investment. So I cannot sit or stand here on a radio and say I will fix it. Because I need...
I'll have you hold and come to the studio and speak with Joseph. These are a number of issues that have been raised by your constituents, and the messages are still popping up here. Poor telecommunication network is one of the problems they're facing, and they're very passionate about it. And they're talking about the serial killings. Let's start with the poor telecommunication network. How do you intend to deal with that?
Thank you. If the come Saturday, if the delegate give me the opportunity, one of the problem in that area, that is the Shima area. If the communication there is very, very poor. I think, first of all, I'm going to approach the Minister for Communication to tackle it. If he is not able to do that, I have to go to private communication. That is MTN, Tigo, and Vodafone. That is most of the network our people use in the community. So I have to approach them and lobby very hard for our people to have a relief from the poor communication.
You also heard about the serial killing and that your constituents talk about.
Yeah. That is recently Jita. Yeah, in fact, almost every week when you get to the constituency on Radio Sunday, you hear some of these killing in the community. If I have tried hard to send a street light to those areas, but it seems like the people, they come in the night, midnight, and do it and go. But recently, my own sister was involved. But I have to manage to bring the body to Accra here to do the test and then bury her as well. And later on, another one happened again.
So this is a purely security matter?
Yes.
And how do you intend to tackle it?
First of all, let me come to that one then. First one happened, the second one, and the recent one. In fact, I have to talk to the community people. You organize demonstration against the killing of the people in the area.
Okay.
So since then you have done that.
You think demonstration will deter the killers?
No. You have to talk to the stakeholders and the chief in the area.
Have you done that?
Yeah, we have done that. It's in the process. Now the police are doing the investigation. So after that, police will come and talk to the stakeholders. And then from there, you need more security in the area. And one of the areas is Akwa Tokwa to Jita.
Okay.
That is the main problem. There's no street light in that area.
Okay.
It was recently we are trying to put a police barrier there because of the area, the police, they are not able to stay there for long.
Okay.
So we are trying to bring the low tension pole. I'm still lobbying the Minister of Energy to release some few poles so that you can put street lights across the area.
Okay, so far, have you engaged the police? Have you brought in the security agencies to deal with this matter?
Yeah, in fact, Jita to Anyani police station is not far from there. It's not far.
Okay.
So I'm sure they are working on that.
Are you sure or you know?
I know very well that is the challenge in that area. So they are working on that.
The police are working.
Yes.
Have you been following up with the police on what have they been telling you?
So far, I can say since after the demonstration and talking to the police and things have come down to normal now.
Prof, if you're still on the line, this is a very important security matter that has come up, and I've gotten so many messages with regards to the serial killing. in your area. How do you intend? What's your plan to deal with this issue?
Thank you very much. My first response is that, like you really pointed out, it's a security issue, and it's been going on for some time intermittently, not every week or every month. But we've done all we can. That is where I come from. Let me be honest about that. I come from Chicago. So I'm aware of the problem, and I'm participant in every action that has been taken so far to try and resolve the problem. We made complaints to the police. We even went as far as the regional police headquarters, even national homicide unit, and they sent people there come and take forensic samples and all kinds of things. So we think that the community by itself is finding it difficult to resolve the problem. We try to do community watch committee, which was going on well, but of late they are not very active. I supported the construction of a shelter at the police to erect the police barrier so that the policemen could be on the road at night. To be honest with you, the place is an isolated area when you are coming from across the Portisita. So we don't really even know that all the people killed there from those communities, because some of the so we were also of the opinion that some of the people were just killed from elsewhere and dumped there. A few years we know them, and they were killed from those communities. So the police keep telling us they are handling the case. They are working hand in hand with the national, the regional, and then the district police command and the local police station. But I must add that the local police station at Anyangwe is woefully understaffed. So they are stressed.
So how do you intend to address the challenge so that we can have the people protected?
Yeah, we are working on a number of things. That's constructing the police barrier in the area where the thing has been happening or where the cause has been found most of the time, so that we can have the police presence. And we think that that is the surest way to reduce it, if not to eliminate it. And the second thing is stimulating the area by providing street lights on along the from the.
I think the lines are back there. We'll try and get Prof back on the line to complete what he was saying. But this message is very important to me. And he says, do any of the aspirants know Koji? Okay, Kome. Do you know there? He said, what are their plans for the only health facility there, serving all the 7 communities? And then on education, he says, what is the plan to make the area an examination center?
Yeah, thank you very much. But the main issue, the other issue is how do you get the funds to resolve all these problems?
To deal with
thank you. You see, when you become an MP, there's allocation to various constituency. That is the common fund.
Yeah.
And then you have education center, you have a GET fund, have some allocation to the education center.
Okay.
You have a national health insurance allocation to the health sector. So those are the few resources they allocate to various constituencies. So those funds, for instance, if you come to the health sector, I'm going to use those funds to support.
As far as I'm concerned, the common fund and all the funds you're talking about has never been enough for members of parliament.
Yes.
How do you intend, as a member of parliament, if you're given the nod, to look for extra funds or to even generate funds from your community to be able to do all these projects?
Yes. First of all, I have to talk to the various ministries, especially the ministers one-on-one, in terms of telecommunication and the water and agriculture and the housing as well.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we're running out of time, but I'll let you have your final say to your constituents. A number of the messages are coming in, and this one say, I want to congratulate Mr. Agbeko for opting for MPship. I would like him to enumerate 5 educational challenges in Anlo constituency, if there is any, and his intention to alleviate those challenges. And then this one from Zeal Eric, He says, I know the youth in Anlo constituency like football so much. What will be the new development would you bring as far as sporting activities are concerned? And so those are some of the things that they want to find out from you. Maule says, please ask the aspirants with you that the roads in the constituency is bad. How would they resolve the issue, especially Koji to Fiaho Road? So a number of the messages are coming and they're all speaking the same language. Abraham Kwamla Amuzu says, please ask Mr. Pogo what his office will be doing if voted as MP about the perennial water flooding in Shime, Kome, and its sister communities that always cause increase in absenteeism in various schools. As a native of Anlo constituency, he is aware of a lack of market for farm produce like tomatoes that always go bad by their respective farmers. Can he outline some measures he planned to rescue, these problems? So you can understand that the constituents are engaging their members of parliament, and these are the specific things they want to find out. One wants to find out from the roads, and I saw you jotting down. I'd like you to briefly put them together and explain to me how you intend to deal with these challenges.
Thank you. One of the challenges in terms of education, in fact, every year I distribute mathematical sets for the BEC card day. Because when I was young, I found it very difficult to buy those math sets for exam. So I take it upon myself
to buy math sets for all the students
who are going to write the BEC every year. In fact, this year too, I've done that.
Okay.
And then it's one of the challenges in various schools.
Okay.
And then when you come to infrastructure, it's one of the challenges. And then textbook. Some of the schools, in fact, they don't even have one textbook. Yeah, so
you supply them.
Yeah, I'll supply them a textbook.
You will supply them if you are given the mandate. Okay.
In fact,
so
doing those things.
Briefly, we're running out of time. Give what's your final message to the people of Anlo as you head towards the primaries on Saturday, August 24?
Yeah, thank you. Let me come to Shima side in terms of the road over the year. Yeah. The road sector there is very, very bad. It was our previous government, that is the NDC, started construction of, that is Ajato to Sakome. That is the whole area of Shima. That is the only one major road in Shima there. So I'm sure if opportunity is given, I can lobby hard for that road to be constructed. And then come to the water problem. In fact, every year you have challenge in the water problem in Shima. Yeah, all the way from the north. That is the Burkina Faso water. Okay. Yeah, it affects those areas. In fact, last year I was there with them to move to so many houses to support them with the mosquito.
So if you're giving the nod, you will continue this work and make sure that their challenges are solved. We wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
Agweko is one of the aspirants, one out of the 6 aspirants who are vying for the MPship. Okay, Prof. Collins Aholu is still on the line. I thought we lost him. I won't say thank you so much for joining in the conversation. We wish you well as you head towards the primaries on Saturday, August 24. And thank you so much, Joseph, for also passing through here.